What's good, YouTube? This is Brown Brother coming to you with another video. Please like, share, subscribe. I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with a mentor of mine, and he told me about something that I had never heard of before, or maybe I heard of it before, just didn't know the correct name for it. And he told me that the name was genetic memory. And I was like, okay, genetic memory. I was like, yeah, I kind of know what that is. But I went and looked it up. It said, genetic memory is evoked to explain the racial memory, um, um, postulated, um, post, ulated by Carl Jung, in Georgian, psychology. Racial memories are, positive memories, feelings, and ideas inherited from our ancestors as part of a collective unconsciousness or consciousness, I guess it is. And I thought about that genetic memory very carefully. That's the truth. That people don't tell you these things, but JayZ said it best. JayZ and Rick Ross said it best in a song. He said, and I don't know who it was talking in the song, something like Master P. He said, you can't blame these youngins for liking all these gold in our jewelry. He said it's a part of our heritage. He said, we came from Africa, and this is in our DNA, you know. So when I see a brother with gold chains on and with this on, you can't never judge anyone from the beginning, but you can't never take it, as in a negative. You have to look at it from a positive because automatically in our genetics, this is the truth. The richest person on in the planet ever to walk the face of the earth, not Bill Gates, not Rothschild, not Rockefeller, not Vanderbilt, but the richest man was where am I saying his name right? Munsa Musa, who was African emperor, who basically owned darn near all the gold in the region. And I mean, abundance of gold untold. When King Tut died, or King Tut, or maybe not when he died, but King Tut has a mask that has so much gold in it, has like pounds and pounds of gold melted down in the mask. You know, our Egyptian ancestors had golden Afro pigs. You can go look at any region of Africa, any place, gold is in abundance. We bleed black blood, but this earth bleeds black oil, which is oil, which is basically the earth's bodily fluid, and it's made of oil, but it's a value, and all these things are a part of the inherited earth. These are all our memory. I got a picture of what I showed. I believe, and I'm gonna do a lot more blog posts coming very soon on the brownbrother.blogspot.com. It should take me a minute, but I'm talking about genetic memory, and I show a picture that goes back and show our Nubian ancestors, because although we mention the Egyptian a lot of times we forget to leave out the Nubians, and the Nubians were a great tribe of people out of Egypt as well, or out of the African region. And you can see that they have hairstyles. And then I showed a picture of Rich Homie Quan, who's a rapper. And although me and him probably, if we ever got in the room, we probably wouldn't agree upon half of the stuff when it comes to life. And I have some opinions, and he has some opinions. But I would show him and tell him that your love for jewelry, just like any rapper, is because of this. The way you do your hair is not by any mistake. It's because of your ancestors, and that this is automatically in your DNA. That this is your connection to your ancestors. But however, just like Crawley and all these other evil guys who came about, they took our history and they misconstrued it, and they messed it up. And now they feed us this false manhood. They feed us this false doctrine. They feed us this emasculated manhood as the truth of what manhood is. They feed us this pants sagging as being a trend. But if you go look at the original origin of what the pants sagging mean, most of the brothers wouldn't even be doing it. But then maybe they will. I don't know. I don't. That's another topic for another day. I ain't even trying to get on that. But I'm just making the point is, you understand what I'm saying? all these things are misguided manhood. So although going back to the pants sagging has nothing to do with our ancestors, that's some crap that was made up. But I'm just making the point is all of this had the goal, uh, the wanting riches and wanting abundance of family and wanting to take to provide for the homies and wanting to have a hairstyle and the sisters now with the what do you call them, the bundu twist knots, whatever you call them, the twist or whatever in their hair. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. If you're a natural hair person, leave the correct term in the comment section down below. But even the sisters are wearing their hairstyle different, and everybody, because we have ancestral connection. Have you ever thought about for a moment, and I don't mean to get too R-rated here, but it takes two basically bodily fluids to create a human being. Have you thought about the miracle, what is the creation of life? And have you ever thought about for a moment that it has to take a heck of a lot more for two liquids basically to make a child, that is part of the spirit, is part of the mind, that anything that's internally, whether it be our loins, whether it be our brain, whether it be our heart, everything is eternal, that it has to be a combination of things that go into making that child, that it's a living, breathing organism with skin, with bone, with all this kind of stuff, with teeth, that it takes bodily fluid to transform or fertilize. It's so like my brother Meek Mill said, it's levels to this stuff. I can't curse, but it's levels to this stuff. So you must understand that when you see these certain things, it's not because it's us acting out or rebelling. This is a part of our culture. It's just that when the masses take it over and when our oppressors get a hold of our history and get a hold of our food and get a hold of our neighborhoods and more particularly get a hold of our children. J. Cole said it best. Um, 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 J. Cole said it best. Um, and the devil run the TV, so the demons in him, you know. So um 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 when all these things happen, then at that point it becomes a problem, um uh 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 because our genetic memory is true, and that's a pure form, but we're being attacked and we're being fed false doctrine by our oppressors to make sure that even though we have our ancestral DNA, they're using basically, let me put it like this, they're using our best weapon against us. So we have our ancestral DNA to fight off the oppression, to fight off everything. Our genetics are pure. Our genetics are true. There's genetics that come out, and this is not me being crazy. This is what the history books show. Whether it be in Harvard, whether it be at HBCU, whether it be Princeton, whether it be at HBC, whether whatever. The anthropology books show that we all can that Africa is the motherland. So our ancestral DNA teaches us pride of self, love of self, teaches us some things that we don't even know about. That's why I don't understand, like when people die and they have funerals and they be like, and just going just crazy and stuff. But do you not understand it takes one physical process to have a child, so that even though that person may be dead, physically it took them. It's almost like a ladder. It's almost like a ladder. You have to go up one just to get to the next. It's almost like, how can I put this? It's almost like, just imagine, I may leave a picture of that as the thumbnail, as everybody holding on to each other, as a human chain, that one hand has to connect to the other just for it to connect down to the end. So that although that person that it took a physical intersection of two people, but it also took a mold and took a clay of those two people to make a child. So although that person may be dead and gone, memories, life, whether it be the burdens, or whether it be the happiness, whether it be the highs, the lows, some of their thoughts, some of their actions, I wholeheartedly believe they go into the next generation. So again, we have that ancestral DNA. That's where we can go and look at certain things and be like, and go back and look at our ancestors and be like, wow, our great great grandfather may have wore glasses. Nobody else in the family wear glasses, but we do. You may have a love. I remember I was watching LL Cool J on Finding Your Roots, and he's saying he loved boxing. Well, find out that although his I can't remember what it was. His grandparents weren't his real grandparents. His real grandparents' brother or something like that. They were professional boxers, and he loves boxing. And he looked so much like LL Cool J that they could have basically had just grabbed him up at the picture, and the dude could be walking around right now. He looked just like him. That's ancestral DNA. Their love, their passion, their everything, their hairstyles, their ideas, in some form fall us. But we have to have a pure enough spirit and a pure enough consciousness to accept it. And in addition to that, we cannot be tainted by the oppressors of society that teach us partial amounts of our culture, but most importantly try to oppress and stifle our progression. They try to oppress and stifle us getting our nine energy and our nine wisdom and intelligence. So ancestral DNA is basically the idea, and I guess I still got to do a lot of studying on it because my mentor told me about it 2 months ago. I'm just now um, thinking about it. I made a PowerPoint slide. I got a website that's coming very, very soon, y'all. Very, very soon. Just give me a little time. Websites are extremely costly, whatever. But just give me a little bit of time, and I got a website that's coming out that's gonna be really good, and I'm gonna do a lot of PowerPoints. I'm gonna do a lot of blog posts and stuff like that. But it talked about ancestral DNA. I mean ancestral. What do you call it? Genetic memory. And I thought about how ancestors go along, and they move forward, and it's a cycle of life. So we carry on some form of that. But when it's met with impurity, we cannot capitalize or cannot use what our ancestors give us. It becomes tainted. It almost say like one bad strawberry makes the whole batch go bad. So we have to figure out a way to make sure our children understand knowledge itself, and that they know why all of a sudden they want to grow their hair out and get the little sponge brush and twist up their hair. We have to teach them, why they like to play. A lot of kids like to play chess. If you teach them that, why they like to play sports. You have to teach, our youngsters why they love gold so much and give them historical context behind it. We have to teach our sisters why they like their hair, doing their hair natural. I'm a big proponent of natural hair now, more than ever. I'm looking homeless with the beard, but I'm trying to change the way I eat and the way I think and do certain things as well. So we have to just talk about these things, and we have to show them this is the reason why you like these things, not because of this fool on TV who's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars from a record company that's working with people to oppress us. But you like these things, and he likes those things, whether he knows it or not, because of our ancestors. And we have to just show the proof in the pudding, and it's all there. All the evidence is there. I leave you with a quote and with a statement for the day, and I'm going for the rest of the day. And it's this. Um, a brother had on his Twitter, he had a picture or of an iPhone, and he said this iPhone holds the key to thousands of documents, thousands of information, thousands of millions of untold secret. It holds a wealth and abundance of truth and knowledge. But you'd rather sit here and watch World Star Hip Hop fighting videos. And I thought that was so amazing. Because we sit up here and watch these videos and see this person doing this and doing that, but they need to understand the historical context before they can even get into anything else. Because once you're tainted by the negative, you will be in confusion, you'll be in disarray, and you understand you don't know why you're feeling some type of way and you can't do nothing about it. So we must open up our mind, must open up ourselves, and must continue to preach knowledge and truth so that our other brothers and sisters who are in the dark should come to the light. I love y'all. Peace and many blessings. It's the Brown Brother. I'm on to the next one. Peace.